So, a pop-up is basically, I mean, it sounds super simple, but it is. It's basically a table with whatever you have, whatever products you have, and you show up somewhere. That could be either if you want to get fancy with it, it could be a boutique, it could be a gym. My first pop-up was at a gym, my local gym that I go to weekly. So, um, that was my first one. They're a little intimidating, but not as scary as you think. Another way you could do a pop-up is like at a friend's house. So like if you have a few products and you're like, hey, I know like these group of ladies from church who like me and like wouldn't mind me coming over and like inviting some of their friends. That's another way to get pop-ups. I'm actually gonna try to do that this week with some friends that I have, and hopefully they'll just bring a bunch of girls. Um, what
Cool.
else? You could another pop-up could be like a vendor event. So you could find like events in town that are you probably have to pay a little bit for them. So I would probably just stick to like starting out with free events like around town.
Okay, so do you have to have a lot of product on hand to be able to do a pop-up?
Um, no, you don't have to have a lot. Um, I would say like if you've got two samples of collagen, of greens, of coffee, keto energy, like you could do a whole like pop up with that, like with a few friends, because so basically what we do is like we have these small cups. They're literally like probably smaller than a shot. So if you have like two hydrates and you put it in a jar, you can literally like serve 30 or 40 people with those two hydrate samples. So you don't really need a lot. If you want to, if you just have the keto coffee, like that's awesome too. That's one of our most popular products. So you don't have to worry about having like every single product or anything. You can just start with the keto coffee.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Sounds simple. So what are your tips for like choosing a location?
I would say, I know that not everybody has like all day to do this, but I would say find places within 5 to 10 miles of your house. It could be boutiques. You could maybe, if there's a cool library down the street, coffee shops. Um, and basically, I'm going to go through a little script that I have for reaching out to those people. So say there's like a little shop down the street and you're like, it's going to be easier for me to just go up there and ask them than to email and wait. Plus, not everybody reads their email. Sorry, I'm like shivering because I'm in the garage and it's super cold.
You're fine.
um, okay, so walk up to the shop and say, hey, I'm super excited to be launching a brand new product in the area. I'm interested in collaborating with you guys. Is this something, oh, who can I speak to about having a pop-up shop here? Simple. And most of the time they'll say, oh, the manager, he'll be the one to talk to. And then you get his phone number, his or hers phone number. Um, like when I went to the gym, he didn't even ask me what I had. I just told him I was a health and wellness company, and he was like, okay. So not everybody is going to be that like lax, but um, sort of rehearse a little bit about what you do. Like you could say health and wellness company, and we have like a variety of products for skincare, detox, weight loss, and then just kind of leave it at that. You don't want to like tell them too much unless they ask you. Let's see, another thing that you could do is, here's a tip. On Facebook, you can just share a simple post that says, I need to purchase some awesome gifts from local companies. Tag your favorite local boutique that has amazing things or something like that. Just super simple. And then you get people commenting on your posts saying like, oh, I get gifts from here. I go down the street to, Sally, blah, blah, blah. And then contact those people. If you don't want to travel, if the places are, a little bit out of the way and you want to contact like 20 at once, something that I wrote, let's see. You can message them, hey there, I've been following your boutique for a while, and I know your audience would love, let's see, sorry. And I know my audience would love your clothes. I'm a local influencer for a health and wellness company, and I love your stuff. When can we talk about collaborating to book a pop-up? I'll share your clothing line or whatever they're doing in exchange for popping up at your store. So just simple, just keeping it really simple.
Okay, so are pop-ups like just about the products that we have then, or do you like talk to people about being distributors or?
Yeah, so one thing that I learned at conference was that these pop-ups don't have to be centered around the products. You can bring the products, but you can also sort of lead the conversation with, this is what I sell, this is my company, but it's really awesome. You could get this discount and sell it at the same time. So it takes a little bit of tweaking your booth to not be centered around the products and have a few more like signs that are put up that say like earn while you try it, or earn while you reach your goals, or something like that. I'm not very clear on that, but you can switch it up that way.
That's awesome. When I first heard about pop-ups, I was like thinking that of course they're just about products, but I like that how at conference they talked about like making it into like signing people up as distributors and that transition. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and another thing that I learned, so you know how we put our stories up like join my team, or this is what I've done, or this is what I sell. If you're really feeling like, man, I just want to get outside of the box today, um, you could put up one of those slides that says pop-up event at, or I'm looking for local Houstonites who want to make an extra income. I'll be popping up at Trader Joe's or wherever you have set up to go. That way, when they come, you have the products, but they're also going to be there because you said making an extra income in your little like blurb. I'm trying to play with that a little bit too. I'm trying to figure out exactly how to do that because I've got people from all over the place. And so I think even going to like local places around town where they have like places where you can like stick like an ad or something, you could put like local event for people who are wanting to make extra income. I mean, like say it a little bit better than that, but like have a little flyer to where, you're just going to put it all over town and then be at that one place and whoever shows up shows up. And of course, like put it on your Facebook and promote it. But that's another good way to like get a pop-up going for distributors. And then you have the products there so people know that you actually do something and you have a product.
Okay, cool. So what's your best advice as far as like getting one scheduled?
Schedule. I think I answered that a little bit. Let's see.
Like, so do you give them a date or do you just say like what date works best for you or like how do you go about that part?
I would try to get them to get from them information about when their busiest time is. So if they, what times of the week are you guys really busy here? So like at the gym, they said Tuesday night was a really busy night, and Monday and Tuesday nights because people had a long weekend, they didn't do anything over the weekend, and so they're like coming in. So I would say ask them when their busiest time is, and then see if that fits with your schedule. And so kind of work with them on the date and the time.
Okay, cool. So how do you avoid scaring away a potential? Like, do you tell them about every single product we have as soon as they step up to the table? Or
um, I did that on my first one, and I would not recommend it because it does scare them away, and they're like, well, yeah, I do want to grow my hair out, but what's this coffee and what is this pink drink and what are you doing? These are wraps. What? So they get confused. So what I learned at conference is that the skinny brew they is the focus. So they want us to focus on our coffee because I think it was something like 4 million cups of coffee are drank every single day. And so either you like coffee or you don't. So if you like start the conversation with, hey, do you like coffee? Like that could just be it. Because what I was doing was like, hey, do you want to try a sample? Do you want to try a sample? And they're like, no. And they're like, well, what do you have? And I'm like, well, I have this and I have this collagen and I have this hydrate. It's blah, 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 blah. And I have coffee too. And so it gets kind of confusing. And then it kind of sounds like you don't know what you're talking about, even though you know what you're talking about. So yeah, that was a cool thing. It was like, start with the coffee. Then if they say, no, sorry, I don't drink coffee, then you can kind of ask them what their goals are. So you could say, what are some of your health goals? Is it to like have better skin, more energy? You can kind of like just talk to them as if like you're just asking them like, what would you change about yourself, or what could you like use more of in your day? So that was a cool tip, was that I learned, was to um, start with coffee and make it simple.
okay. I think that's all the questions I have for you.
Okay, let's see. Let me read through this real quick. Apparently there's like some ladies that are doing these pop-ups, and like this is all that they're doing. So every single day, every morning, they have a pop-up scheduled, and they're making like $300 to $400 in samples. So of course that means like I'm gonna have to have that many samples, and so we're gonna work our way up to that. But I think it's a really cool idea that a lot more people are doing these pop-ups and having more success. There was another woman, Marcella, I forget her last name, but I posted one of her before and afters a couple weeks ago, and she was on stage and she said that, she says, I have a pop-up and I can do as much in one day as I can do like in person as I can do in a whole month on my phone. So that just like blew my mind. Like we need to get out there. And the first event that I had, nobody knew what It Works was. I talked to at least 30, 40 people at the gym, and none of them knew what it was. So like getting out there is important. So if you just do it even just once a month, or get your friends together and ask them to like bring their friends to your house and just have it like in your kitchen, like a lot of people don't know about what we do. So that's cool. Um and I think that's it.
Okay, sorry, my mom was yelling down the stairs.
That's okay.
Okay,
Um,
cool. You have questions for me?
I do have questions. Okay, my first question was how to reach out to a business to host there. Our questions will be a little similar, but I'm sure you have like
Okay.
other
Cool. Yeah.
things that you.
So when I did my first one, I was mostly just looking at like vendor events because I was like, I don't know how to ask a business to do that. So let me just look at where they like you sign up and you go. So I did two different vendor events, which I just did ones that weren't super expensive. Like the first one was like $30 to set up a table, and the second one was like I think $30 or $40 to set up a table. And then later in February, I have another one, which is like a bridal expo, which like if you want to spend money to try to make money, a bridal expo is probably your best option to like book one because I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty busy with people that want to like grow their hair out, get better skin, lose weight before their wedding.
Mhm.
We'll let
Yeah.
y'all know because it's later in the month, but I'm pretty sure that that one should be good. But as far as like reaching out to a business, so actually earlier this week, yesterday, I went out for like 2 hours and drove around to places kind of around me, like within like a 20-mile radius, and just like looked and was like, oh, there's a salon. Oh, there's a gym. Oh, there's a boutique, and just like stopped and went in and talked and was like, used basically the same script that you used. I was like, hi, I'm Bethany. I work for Health and Wellness Company. I was just curious who I could talk to if you guys do like pop up shops here. And like 90% of the time, they were like, oh, you need to talk to the owner or the manager, and they're not here, but here's their business card. So now I like have a business card so I can call them at a different time. I'm kind of thinking honestly that I might just call them in the future instead of like using time like to go out and like go in person since I had so many people say here just call and ask for the
Mhm.
manager. I might try that and see if it's better. But also like if you're out and about anyway and you just like pass something, you might as well just like stop and go in because it will take like 2 minutes. So that's probably like in person on the phone. I tried emailing and people like barely get back to you. So I feel like in person and on the phone is the best options.
Cool, cool. And do you have any tips on like presentation of your booth?
So I feel like it's good to not be super cluttered. So like pick a couple products, like coffee, and then maybe like one or two or three other things to have set out. But then maybe start with the coffee, like you said, like hey, do you like coffee? And go into that. But it's also cool to have those little cups with the samples. I think that makes it like more like people can walk up because they're like, oh, I can try something over here. But just not to have it too cluttered. Try to maybe color coordinate with like doing the coffee and maybe like the BFF since that's kind of like the same color, just so that it's not like oh this and this and this and this all over the place. Like people are getting distracted by like everything that you have all over the table.
Cool. Yeah, I think when I set up my booth, I had a little too much on the table, and people were confused about what I had. So I pulled out everything.
Mhm. Yeah, and to have like little signs, maybe I have another pop up I'm doing tomorrow at a salon, so I made a sign that says do you want to enter my cash giveaway? Follow me on Facebook or Instagram and message me the word giveaway so that I can do like host to post through that way also. So even if they don't end up like signing up, they'll still hopefully message me on there and I can get a host to post out of it. And then I have another one that says learn how to make $500 a month while using amazing products or something like that. So just having like little signs I think would be helpful too so that people because I know I would be just like looking and like not going up and talking to someone at first and trying to figure out if I can figure out what it is they have like before I go over there. So if somebody had like a cash giveaway over there, I'd be like, oh, let me go enter a cash giveaway.
Mm-hmm. It looks like we have a question from Cindy. It says, do you choose the products based on the place?
Um, I guess you can. I also, when I was talking to people, told them like if there are certain products that you want me to promote or not promote, I can. Because when I was going to hair salons, they would be like, "Do you have hair products? Because we don't want you to like interact with like the stuff that we have, and I would be like, I have this hair, skin, and nails, so I can, sorry, my computer. I can advertise it if you want and help promote it since you guys have hair care, or I cannot, depending on whether it interacts with like what you guys have here or not. But if after you ask them if they don't like have a problem with anything, I would probably just try to stick with the coffee since that's kind of what's really big like with everybody right now. And I think that would go like anywhere, like at a salon or at a boutique or at a gym. Like I feel like the coffee is probably pretty good across the board. Maybe like if you go to a gym, you could also throw hydrate in there just because that's a good thing to have at the gym instead of Gatorade.
Definitely. I think that answered my next question. That was, which products do you recommend to use?
Yep.
Cool. Okay, let's see. What information should you be prepared to provide about the products? Like, you bring fact sheets, or do you have printouts, or is it on a computer, or what kind of information do you bring?
So if you go onto your eSuite and go to reports, there's like a whole bunch of reports on pop-ups that they gave us. And I know that the products that they had recommended, which is like the coffee and the reds and the collagen, they have the like facts sheets you can print out if you want to. I haven't done that. I've just like had the products that I have the bags of the products that I have sitting out so that they can just like look at the ingredients on there. Or if you like need to, last resort, like you can just pull up the website on your phone and show them the ingredients on there as well. But I would be prepared to like show them the ingredients regardless. Just know that you need to have it easy access on your phone or like have the bag with you.
Cool. Yeah. My first pop-up, this woman just kind of caught me off guard, and she's like, "Do you know what this is sweetened by? Sweetened with?" It was the collagen, and I said, because I said there was, I think maybe there's only 2 grams of sugar, or maybe even like less than that, less than 1% or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no idea. So I looked at that, and she's like, she kind of looked at me like she got one over on me.
Uh-huh.
I was like, it's right here. I don't know all the ingredients for every single product, but you can take a look at the sheet. So I had it printed out. And
Yeah, and I feel like don't let people make you like second guess yourself either. Like we have like over 50 different products. So you can even say that if they ask a question, you can be like, let me look at the ingredients with you because we have over 50 different products. I don't want to get confused between them, so I just want to look at the ingredients with you or something like that.
that's a good way to word it. Cool. Okay, so let's see. We're going through this fast.
I know, we're going done fast.
How do you get the word out about hosting it?
Okay, so I haven't been super good about that, but I think you touched on that a little bit too. Like, I think that's a good idea to like go find like your town hall or post office or something, somewhere where they like have little papers you can put up to advertise it. That's probably a good idea. Also, you can ask the company to advertise it on their social media. The salon that I'm going to tomorrow, like I've asked her a couple times and she's just like, I'll get to it, I'm busy, but it's tomorrow now and she hasn't done it. So, I mean, you can always ask that. You can advertise it on your social media as well. Like you said, like saying, I'll be at this place tomorrow if you want to come out and check it out. I would try to advertise it like a week beforehand or maybe even before that and then a week beforehand and then like the day beforehand and then even like the day of, like take pictures or videos while you're there and people can be like, oh, let me go stop by. But there's a bunch of different ways if you want to do it paper wise, getting it out somewhere on like a board or on social media.
Cool. Yeah. And so I have another question. So you asked this woman to advertise for you. Did you send her like a picture that was super easy for her to just like put up in like a blurb, or did you just ask her like, could you advertise this?
No, I should have done that. That would have been smart because I just asked her, I was like, so I'm going to advertise it on my social media. Can you advertise it on yours? And she just said, yeah, I'll get to it.
Yeah, it seems like
A lot
maybe
better.
that's a little bit harder for someone who is busy to like create something like that. Like they wouldn't know what picture to use, or I mean, I guess they could just post a picture of their shop and say like come over, blah blah blah, but yeah, but maybe something like a little ad that she could put up on her wall or something
Yeah, that's really smart. I'm gonna do that for next time.
might make it easier for her. Let's see. Okay. This might be a little redundant, but what type of businesses do you recommend to have it at?
Okay, yeah. So like salons, gyms, boutiques. Honestly, like you can ask anywhere. Because honestly, I work at Chick-fil-A and we've had a Mary Kay person set up a booth outside of Chick-fil-A before. So like you can ask wherever you want, but I feel like you'd probably be more likely to get a spot at like a salon or a boutique or a gym. Because I feel like it's not normal to go to like a Chick-fil-A or anything like that and be able to set up. I honestly don't know like why we do that. We let people have little tables outside. But my boyfriend was like, just do it at a Royal Farms store. And I was like, people that go to Royal Farms are not gonna want to stop and look at all these health and wellness products. So kind of like think about your audience at the same time too. Like people at a gym are gonna want the health and wellness products. It's more like my thought process at least.
Cool. Yeah, totally. Just kind of figure out what is like, I guess, I don't know. Yeah, that makes sense. I have a few notes from just real quick notes from conference, and it was about your presence. So, like me, I'm not always like a really excited person, or like when I talk, I feel like I'm real monotone, but and that's okay, it's fine. But one thing that they said was like assume that whoever's coming to your booth will become an LC, I mean a loyal customer or a distributor. So that's one thing I did do when everyone was coming to my booth. I would just really engage with them, and if they were interested in the coffee, they're, oh, this tastes really good, and I would segue with, what's your routine like? What, or I would just like be really excited and assume that they are gonna buy something. People can tell, like when you're like, oh, okay, well, do you think that you'd want to buy this? Like people like that sounds like you don't really want me to buy something, or like you're nervous. So I think just like assume, even if they don't, what I was doing was like if they showed interest, I had a sheet that had name, email, what product. Even if they didn't write the product in, I wrote it in there afterwards, and phone number. So it's like she's walking out, oh, hey, would you like to try a sample? Okay, what do you have? I'd like to try the coffee. Okay, here you go. Hey, can I put your phone number down? Can I get your information? I'd love to send you more information. I know you're just passing out, or not passing, I know you're just like walking out of here. So I'd love to send you some information afterwards. So then the next day you can follow up. I would recommend just phone number. Don't get emails, because actually I got everybody's email and no one responded to any of them.
Oh my goodness.
So, yes. So get everybody's phone number. That way there's no way that like if they don't respond to your text, like you could even call them one day and like like, hey, I don't know if you've been getting my messages, but I just thought I'd call you real quick because you really liked that coffee last time. So just like assume that they want what you have. um it sounds crazy, but people are excited when you're excited.
Very true.
Let's see. Get their phone number, put them in Connect right away. And something that they were talking about was keeping your Connect really organized. So when you put someone's phone number in, you could put February 1st salon pop-up potentials, and then you add all those people to that date. So then you know when you talk to them. I'm I'm all about like having everything on the computer, on my phone. I tried writing things down and I just like the paper just ends up lost. So everything is on the computer. So I love the Connect app, how you can just add those little groups in there for people you talk to at that certain time.
Yeah, that's cool.
Also, another thing was like with being excited, say, oh my gosh, so you just um, you qualify for 40% off on this product right now. If you sign up, that you're going to get 40% off of everything on my website. And then if they say no, not right now, you can just add them like, hey, well, can I add you to my social media so I don't forget about you? I'd love to reconnect and like keep that discount open for you when you're ready. So just stuff like that. It really just takes like saying it over and over. Like you can think it and you can write it and type it out. But if you say it over and over, like pretend like you're talking to, like talk to your husband, your spouse, your brother, sister, like talk to them about it as if they were a loyal customer. And that way it kind of gets it all out. Like right now, me talking to you, it makes me feel so much better about like actually talking to someone in person. Like just rehearsing it a little bit makes it like, I don't know. I'm just a nervous person in general. So I always feel like I don't sound like I know what I'm talking about. But it
Oh,
just
yeah,
takes
same. I told you I was outside of the gym the other day for like a half an hour trying to convince myself to go in to ask them if I could have a pop up there.
I was like trying to pump you up and like, you can do this. Do it. You know what you're talking about.
Okay,
Just say
Cindy
that to
asked a
yourself.
question.
Oh,
I have
Cindy.
answered this already, but do you have before and after pictures? If you do, how do you showcase them?
Yeah, I think I didn't have before and after pictures on my booth because I was just so last minute. But I think Bethany or someone had a laptop open or an iPad, and they just had like a folder that had all the before and after pictures that were just kind of scrolling. Um, they were just like on a timeline or something where they were just automatically passing by, I guess. I don't.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness, I forgot about that actually. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. But my first one, I like made a board and had like printed pictures like with text on it. But then when I did one with Kate from Kristen's team, and she brought her iPad and like set it up with pictures. And so we did it that way then, which is very smart. Forgot about it. I'm gonna do it tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, one other thing too. When I was shopping, I was they came out with a Amazon like cart. I know we have like 4 minutes, so I'll be quick. But they came out with an Amazon cart that had everything that you could buy right from Amazon to put your booth together, and it's like $200 or $300 altogether. Which if you're like really doing this business, like it's worth it because it looks really nice. But for me, I went to the thrift store and I got a tablecloth. I went through their like glass stuff. So I found like these little jars where I could put my stuff in, and I just put like a ribbon around it. And then I went to the dollar store and got the little like jars. They're really cute. They're like, they open up. They're just like glass bottles with like a lid on it. And I found them all for $1 each. So before you go like spend a ton of money on your booth, go to the thrift stores, go to the dollar stores, and just get a few things, um, and don't spend too much money on it for your first time. Like just see how it goes. Another tip I
Yeah.
heard was if you do your booth once, don't give up after your first try, because every single booth you have after that is always going to be different. So it might bomb the first time, it might be really good the first time, but just keep doing it and you will eventually find what works for you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool. We have 3 minutes, so we can go ahead and I think.
cool. Well, thanks everybody for hopping on.
Yes, thanks, guys. We'll be back next week. I don't think we decided our topic, but we will let you know. All right, let me stop the recording.